Some rappers lose their careers to the streets, others lose peace to the women they choose. And when it comes to NBA Youngboy, his love life has been just as dangerous as his beefs. From relationships tied to violent outcomes, to diss tracks that turn private drama into public warfare, to situations that spilled into courtrooms and headlines. Every move came with consequences. Dude has slept with women he shouldn't have ever touched and always got trouble he was looking for. These are 6 times NBA Youngboy messed with the wrong women. Iyanna Yaya Mayweather. When NBA Youngboy started dating Iyanna Yaya Mayweather, people already knew this wasn't going to be normal. Yaya wasn't just another rapper's girlfriend. She was the daughter of boxing legend Floyd Mayweather Jr., meaning cameras were always watching and the stakes were instantly higher. I wouldn't want to hurt that girl if you asked me. At first, it looked like a classic toxic celebrity relationship. Breakups, makeups, Instagram lives, cryptic captions, the usual chaos. But behind the scenes, tension was building with other women in Youngboy's life, specifically LaPatra Jacobs, the mother of one of his children. And in April 2020, that tension exploded into something way darker than internet drama. According to Houston police reports and multiple verified news outlets, Yaya Mayweather confronted LaPatra inside Youngboy's Houston home. What started as an argument turned violent. Yaya stabbed LaPatra multiple times with 2 knives. This wasn't rumor. This wasn't alleged Twitter beef. This was a real criminal case with real blood and real consequences. When the police came on site, Youngboy laid it all out flat.
She went for the knife.
Yeah.
But she not on violent shit, man. This my girl. I sleep with her, I know this girl.
Yeah.
Man, she on some like this. So on a girl like this, and just grab her, man, the knife hit her.
LaPatra survived. Yaya was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The story went nuclear overnight. Headlines weren't calling it rapper drama anymore. They were calling it attempted murder. Suddenly, NBA Youngboy wasn't just known for music or legal issues of his own, but for being at the center of a relationship that literally turned deadly. In 2022, Yaya pleaded guilty and received 6 years of deferred probation. No jail time, but a permanent stain on her record. And through all of this, the public kept asking the same question: where was Youngboy in all of it? Here's what made it worse. Despite the violence, despite the charges, despite the optics, Youngboy never fully distanced himself. He and Yaya shared a son born in 2021, which permanently tied them together. And instead of letting the situation die quietly, Youngboy did what he always does. He put it in the music. Not long after, he dropped the song Dirty Iyanna, a breakup track clearly aimed at Yaya. The title alone told you everything. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't respectful, it was raw, personal, and aired out in front of millions. The music video showed a woman breaking into his house, destroying property, imagery that fans immediately connected to the real-life chaos surrounding their relationship. For some fans, it was just art. For others, it felt reckless, like pouring gasoline on an already violent situation. Either way, the message was clear. This wasn't just the wrong woman emotionally, this was the wrong woman legally, publicly, and historically. And this relationship set the blueprint, a pattern where Youngboy gets involved with women connected to power, money, or volatility. And the fallout always goes way further than feelings. Because next up, the wrong woman didn't come with a famous last name. She came with internet infamy, scandal, and non-stop speculation. Bad Baby. When fans first started linking NBA Youngboy to Bad Baby, most people thought it was cap. The timelines didn't make sense. The pairing felt random, and neither side initially confirmed anything, but the internet doesn't wait for confirmation. Speculation kicked off when Bad Baby posted suspicious captions and photos that fans believed referenced Youngboy. Then came the tattoo, a massive chest tattoo of Youngboy's government name, Kentrell. That wasn't rumor. That tattoo was real, documented, and impossible to explain away as coincidence. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. Whether they were officially together or not, Bad Baby had publicly branded herself with Youngboy's name. And knowing her history of online chaos, beefs, and viral confrontations, fans immediately started saying the same thing. This won't end clean. Neither of them publicly confirmed the relationship, but what is factual is the fallout that followed the speculation. Bad Baby later claimed she regretted the tattoo. She covered it up. She distanced herself and fans connected the dots. Whatever was happening behind the scenes didn't end well.
The tattoo has been there for a while now. I just decided to get it redone.
On top of that, Youngboy's fan base turned hostile, flooding her comments and dragging her into beefs she didn't directly start. This situation didn't involve courtrooms or police reports, but it did involve something Youngboy consistently struggles with: public association. When his name attaches to women already surrounded by controversy, the internet magnifies everything, and Bad Baby even crashed out on one of her fans live.
On the internet, people talk and 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 talk about y'all don't know about.
And the timing made it worse. This was happening while Youngboy already had multiple baby mothers, legal battles, and probation restrictions. Any perceived distraction or drama instantly became ammunition for critics who said he couldn't stay out of chaos. The Bad Baby situation wasn't violent, but it was reckless. It added another layer to the perception that Youngboy moves emotionally without thinking long term. Tattoos get covered, rumors fade, but screenshots, those live forever. And while this case stayed mostly online, the next one went right back into the real world. Wait until you see where it all started. Jania Meshu. Before the platinum plaques, before the house arrest, live streams, before the cult-like fan base, there was Jania Meshu, and this was the relationship that set the tone for almost everything that came after. Jania wasn't just one of NBA Youngboy's girls, she was the main one during his early rise, the woman fans associated with him when 38 Baby was still fresh and Baton Rouge was fully behind him. Their relationship played out almost entirely online, which made every argument, breakup, and reconciliation feel like a public episode. At first, it looked like typical young rapper chaos, emotional posts, sub-tweets, going live at 3 a.m. But in 2018, things crossed a line that couldn't be walked back. In February of that year, NBA Youngboy was arrested in Waycross, Georgia, on a felony kidnapping warrant. According to police reports, the charge stemmed from an alleged domestic incident involving Jania. Authorities claimed that during an argument, Youngboy assaulted her and prevented her from leaving the room. The details were graphic enough to immediately turn fan support into debate and criticism. Youngboy was extradited and faced serious legal consequences. He ultimately took a plea deal that resulted in probation, mandatory anger management, and restrictions that would later play a huge role in his house arrest era. What made this situation even more complicated was Jania's response afterward.
You need to be worried about your life and not my life. Stop playing.
Instead of cutting ties completely, Jania continued to publicly defend Youngboy. She posted statements saying she didn't want him locked up, that she still loved him, and that the internet didn't know the full story. That split public opinion straight down the middle. Some fans believed her loyalty showed the situation was exaggerated. Others argued that her defense was exactly what people do when they're emotionally trapped in toxic relationships. And then came the cycles: break up, get back together, argue online, delete posts, repeat. At one point, Jania went live crying, hinting at emotional abuse and control. At another point, she'd be posting family-style photos like nothing ever happened. Fans were confused, concerned, and glued to every update. This wasn't just messy, it was damaging. For Youngboy, the legal system now had a paper trail linking his romantic life directly to criminal charges. Judges don't care about vibes or music streams, they care about patterns. And this relationship created one. For Jania, the backlash was brutal. She was harassed online, accused of clout chasing, blamed for his arrest, and criticized no matter what she said. If she spoke out, she was doing too much. If she stayed quiet, she was protecting him. Eventually, the relationship ended for good, but the damage didn't. Years later, even when both had moved on, their names were still linked. Anytime Youngboy got arrested, fans brought up Jania. Anytime Jania posted about relationships, people flooded her comments with his name. This wasn't just a breakup, it was a blueprint. It showed how quickly Youngboy's personal life could turn into a legal issue, how emotional decisions around women didn't stay private, and how fame amplified every bad moment into something permanent. And while this situation alone would have been enough to scare most artists straight, for NBA Youngboy, it was just the beginning, because the next woman didn't just bring emotional chaos. She brought a whole new level of public humiliation and online warfare. And once kids, internet fame, and social media clout got involved, things went completely left. Drea Simone. By the time Drea Simone became publicly linked to Youngboy, fans already knew the pattern: intense attachment, public conflict, and zero boundaries. But what they didn't expect was how fast this situation would spiral and how ugly it would get online. Drea wasn't a longtime partner or a quiet presence. She was outspoken, reactive, and not afraid to tell her side, and that alone made this situation different. Their connection surfaced in late 2020 during one of Youngboy's most turbulent periods. He was dealing with legal pressure, industry beef, and personal stress, and instead of laying low, he got involved with someone who matched his emotional intensity. That was gasoline on a fire. Things went left almost immediately. Drea began posting cryptic messages about disrespect, being used, and feeling played. At first, fans assumed it was vague heartbreak, but then names started getting implied. Screenshots surfaced, and the tone shifted from sad to angry. She accused Youngboy of manipulation, of bringing women around just to provoke jealousy, of lying repeatedly while demanding loyalty in return. And unlike previous situations, she didn't hold back.
How you feel about me?
You know how I feel about you. Stop recording me.
Why nobody like me?
Because you mean.
I'm mean.
She went live multiple times, calling him out directly, exposing arguments, recounting private conversations, even mocking his behavior. This wasn't a breakup, this was war. Fans clipped everything. Blogs reposted it within minutes. Reaction channels broke down her lives frame by frame. And suddenly, Youngboy was trending again, not for music, but for another woman publicly unraveling because of him. Youngboy eventually responded the only way he ever does, indirectly. Instead of addressing Drea directly, he posted music snippets, cryptic captions, and emotionally charged lyrics that fans interpreted as responses. Lines about not trusting women, about being betrayed, about being misunderstood, that only fueled the fire. Drea took those lyrics personally and responded again, accusing him of weaponizing music instead of accountability. She claimed he hid behind fame to avoid confronting the damage he caused. At one point, she even suggested that his relationships followed a cycle: intense love, control, chaos, discard. That statement hit hard because fans had seen it play out before. Eventually, the situation fizzled out the same way it always does. No closure, no apology, just silence and distance. But the internet doesn't forget patterns. By this point, it was undeniable. Every time Youngboy got emotionally involved with the wrong woman or multiple women at once, the result was public fallout that damaged everyone involved. And the craziest part, there was still more, because the next situation wouldn't just involve online chaos or emotional trauma. It would involve federal attention, leaked calls, and a woman who would later be accused of being a liability to his freedom. And once the legal system stepped back into his personal life, there was no separating the two anymore. Jaslyn Michelle. By the time Jaslyn Michelle entered Youngboy's life, fans assumed things would be different. She wasn't chaotic online. She wasn't arguing with other women. She wasn't going live crying or exposing messages. Jaslyn presented herself as calm, grounded, and mature, the exact opposite of the situations fans had seen spiral before. And at first it worked. When Jaslyn became pregnant with Youngboy's child, many supporters believed this might finally be the relationship that slowed him down. A woman who stayed private, a family dynamic away from Instagram beefs, someone who could bring balance. But that illusion didn't last long. Behind the scenes, cracks started forming, and when they surfaced, they confirmed something fans were starting to accept. It wasn't about the women, it was about the environment around Youngboy. Jaslyn gave birth to their daughter in 2021. During the same period, Youngboy was fighting serious federal gun charges. He was in and out of custody, dealing with ankle monitors, lawyers, and looming prison time. Stress levels were at an all-time high, and once again, personal relationships got dragged into legal pressure. During this period, Jaslyn began posting subtle messages hinting at relationship issues. Nothing explicit, no names, but captions about being tired, unappreciated, and feeling alone while holding everything together. Reports and rumors began circulating that Youngboy was still dealing with multiple women while expecting Jaslyn to hold down the main role. That imbalance created resentment, especially with a newborn involved. Things escalated when Jaslyn unfollowed unfollowed him and wiped photos from her page. A classic sign in the Youngboy universe that something had gone left. What made this situation different, though, was the timing. Youngboy was already under intense legal scrutiny. Every move mattered. Every association was being watched, and any hint of instability, especially involving women, didn't help his case. Fans began worrying less about drama and more about consequences, because at this point it wasn't just emotional damage. It was the possibility that stress, conflict, and chaotic relationships could directly affect his freedom. Eventually, Jaslyn stepped back publicly. She stopped posting cryptic messages and focused on motherhood. No exposés, no interviews, no messy live streams. But the damage was already visible. Another woman entered his life thinking stability was possible and left realizing chaos was inevitable. And as Jaslyn faded from the headlines, another woman became linked to Youngboy during his most restricted era yet, house arrest. And this time, fans would hear the tension not through Instagram posts, but through leaked audio and court filings. Dej Rosegold. When Dej Rosegold became publicly linked to Youngboy during his Utah house arrest period, fans immediately sensed trouble. There were no leaked recordings at first. Everything played out live, online, and in real time. Dej didn't hide her involvement. She posted openly, and fans quickly noticed familiar backgrounds in her stories that closely matched the Utah house Youngboy was known to be staying in. While she never directly tagged him, the timing and visuals made the connection obvious. Almost immediately, fans began questioning her in comments, asking why she would involve herself with someone under such heavy legal pressure. At first, Dej defended the situation. Her early posts suggested loyalty and frustration at being judged by outsiders. She implied that people didn't understand what was really going on and that she was standing by someone during a difficult time. But that tone didn't last. Within weeks, her captions became sharper. She began hinting at being disrespected and embarrassed publicly. The post suggested she had been led to believe she was special or exclusive, only to realize she wasn't the only woman involved. That realization set everything off.
You really gonna leave me? Like, you really gonna abandon me? Like, I really felt abandoned. Like,
Dej went live multiple times, and the mood was noticeably different from typical social media drama. She wasn't joking or chasing clout. She was visibly upset, angry, and emotionally drained. During these lives, she accused Youngboy of expecting loyalty while refusing to be honest. She claimed he emotionally pulled women in, made promises, then contradicted those promises by dealing with others behind the scenes.
and stop asking me questions about that. Like, please. I don't like that attention, all that posting me.
What frustrated fans most was the timing. This wasn't happening during a carefree moment in his career. This was during federal house arrest, a period when he was supposed to be minimizing distractions and presenting stability to the courts. Instead, his personal life was unraveling publicly again. Reaction channels clipped Dej's lives within minutes. Blogs ran headlines almost immediately. Comment sections filled with concern instead of jokes. The narrative had shifted. People weren't entertained anymore. They were genuinely worried about how reckless this looked. Dej also implied that Youngboy used his legal struggles as emotional leverage, suggesting that women felt pressured to stay loyal out of sympathy for his situation. That accusation hit hard because it echoed things fans had heard from other women over the years. Different voices, same complaints. Eventually, Dej unfollowed him, deleted posts, and stopped engaging publicly. Her exit didn't feel dramatic, it felt necessary. Fans noticed that after she disappeared, Youngboy's music from that period leaned heavily into themes of distrust and emotional detachment, despite the fact that he was at the center of the chaos. By the time Dej fully exited the picture, fans weren't shocked anymore. They resigned. House arrest hadn't slowed anything down. It had simply made the dysfunction impossible to ignore. And by then, something even more troubling was becoming clear. It wasn't just one woman at a time anymore. As you look back at every one of these situations, a pattern starts forming that's impossible to ignore. With NBA Youngboy, it was never just about bad luck or running into the wrong person once. It was repeated choices, overlapping relationships, and emotional chaos being invited into moments where stability mattered most. Every time things could have slowed down, they escalated. Every time peace was possible, drama followed. Some of these women paid with public humiliation, some with emotional damage, and some with life-altering legal consequences. And through it all, the same cycle kept repeating. intensity first, consequences later. The real question isn't whether he messed with the wrong women, it's whether he ever learned how to choose the right environment for himself when everything was on the line. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, hit the like button, click on the cards displayed on your screen to see more awesome videos, and don't miss out on the next releases. See ya.